Michael, is it true, ma'am, that Michael, well, you've known them for years, right? That Michael went to the hospital on at least 3 prior occasions between December of 2017 and November 2018.
I only know of one time. That was November 2018.
Okay. All right. And during that time, do you know that he had a seizure-like activity?
Natalie told me that he had a seizure.
Do you have from any...
I do not know that for a fact, no.
Well, I didn't ask you that. Hold on, listen to my question, please. You don't know...
She did answer his question.
Yes, that's right.
I said, do you know from any independent sources?
No.
Okay.
Her.
Ma'am, please. Yes or no will suffice.
What do you mean independent
Do you
sources?
know from any sources, such as review of the documents?
No,
from
I
any-
didn't have his medical records.
All right. Is it true, ma'am, from the medical standpoint, that people who have seizure tend to urinate on themselves?
Yes, if they lose muscle control.
No. So the fact that Mr. Cochran may have urinated on himself if he had a seizure would not be abnormal.
No.
But, all right. A man of... how much did he weigh approximately? You know?
I don't know. Maybe 180. I don't know.
How tall was he?
Maybe 5'7", 5'8".
All right. How much Humalog would he have to be injected to cause an immediate collapse?
I'm not sure.
Well, let's say a vial. How much of that vial, a standard vial of Humalog, as you probably know as a physician's assistant, what that is, right?
Sir, everyone's different
Right.
and how their body reacts to it. I may take 2 units and bottom out, but you may take 1 and bottom out.
Entire units, right?
No, 2 units is what we measure
A
the
little bit.
insulin by.
A little bit.
Not millimeters, it's units.
Okay. A vial may have 12 milliliters. How many milliliters would it take for somebody to collapse immediately? Of that weight?
I don't
That
know.
weight structure.
It's whatever his body can handle.
So you have no idea whether he was injected with any type of Humalog at all.
I do not know.
You don't know, ma'am, whether any type of insulin bottle or vial that may have been found in my client's house 4 months after February, that would be June, had anything to do with any type of injection of insulin into the alleged victim.
I do not know.
You have no idea. But you know that Michael was sick before, right?
The one time.
That one time. Well, did you know that seizure-like activity, that's a pretty serious condition, isn't it? If he has seizures. Yes?
Yes.
He also had urinary retention. That can be a pretty serious condition if he was diagnosed with that.
Okay.
Serious condition? Could be.
Not really.
No,
It's more
not
of an
really.
inconvenience than anything.
Inconvenience? If you cannot urinate and get toxic?
You can.
That can be very serious, man.
Right.
Right. Toxic effects of any type of medication, reaction to medication? Could that be serious?
Yes.
Okay. He was diagnosed at first with a brain mass. Now,
Yes.
that could be very serious, couldn't
Right.
it? Then it was changed to encephalopathy. Do I pronounce it correctly?
Yes.
What is that, ma'am?
That's infection or swelling of the brain.
So brain swelling. And that is a pretty serious diagnosis,
Yes.
isn't it? When he went to the hospital in November, he was also confused, right?
Right.
He was belligerent and fighting, right?
Yes. Well, I didn't see that part.
Okay.
I saw him sedated and he was.
Okay. But you knew from him and from anybody else for that matter that he hated being in hospitals.
He never told me that.
He never told you that. Okay.
Right.
Well, did you know from my client that Michael?
Yes,
Hated
she
to
said
be-
it that day at the house. That's why she didn't want to take him to the hospital, as he would be mad.
Okay.
And I told her to blame me.
Okay. Now, I want to ask you one more thing about this Humalog. Humalog, if injected, takes about 15 minutes of delayed reaction, right?
Yes.
And then it reacts insulin reacts in the human body, right, after
Right.
about 15 minutes, and then it subsides, right?
Right.
So if I'm jabbed with the needle and somebody injects a couple of milliliters of the Humalog in me, I'm not gonna just not react, right? And the medication itself will not react in my body yet, right?
Right.
Right. So I will have about 15 minutes to call for help.
Right. That's if you knew you were injected. Right.
Well, if right, ma'am, would you agree with me that if somebody comes and injects you in a certain part of your body, or maybe somewhere else on your body, that you will know that you got injected, right?
Right.
Once you know you're injected, you have about 15 minutes or so to ask the person who injected you, what the heck did you do that for, right?
True.
Or what the heck is happening here, right? And maybe beat the daylight out of the person who injected you, right?
Right.
And then to call 911 doesn't take that long, and say, hey, I've been injected with something by my dear wife. I need help. Desperately. She won't tell me what it is. So he would have the time to react to that injection, wouldn't he?
Maybe.
Maybe. Right. And yet, we have no record whatsoever of this alleged victim calling anybody for any help or assistance. Correct?
Okay.
So we have no idea why he collapsed, do we?
No.
All right. Now, I'm going to ask you this. Mr. Cochran was, at one time, I'm sure you know, diagnosed with acute encephalopathy,
Okay.
the acute brain swelling. And he was prescribed a medication, and I'll try my best to pronounce it correctly. Lamotrigine. Did I say it right?
What is it?
Lamotrigine?
Okay.
Lamotrigine?
Okay.
That's a serious medication, isn't it? Very serious medication. And if you don't take it for your brain swelling, you may be dead pretty soon.
Right.
Do you know that Mr. Cochran refused to take that medication?
He did not tell me anything about that.
Huh? So do you know from anybody that he refused to take that medication?
From the defendant, yes.
No. Okay. Did you also know that he was prescribed a medication called Keppra? What is Keppra?
Keppra is a seizure medication.